quickly show you how to reclassify a raster. It's a really easy way. Sorry, some people asked me this and I had a mental block. So go into your EO browser, look for your area. I've just put some random date, so you don't necessarily have to use this date. Go into your rasters and find the exact date. I think it was September the 18th, possibly. I think it's September the 18th. Let's just pop it in. Not too sure if that's the exact date I had. It doesn't look like it's loading anything. Let's put the 17th. Okay, we'll just put the 17th. It doesn't make any difference. Okay, so what we've done is I've found the 2019 one and I've clicked on the moisture index. I've got one of the themes. So what I'm going to do is I've uploaded my KML and then I'll go into my image save, click on analytical. That's the one I want to do. You need to be logged in to do this. Make sure it's high. That's the moisture index, and make sure you untick this. And then it downloads all the bands, and I'm going to download it. I'm not actually going to download it because I've already downloaded 3 of them. Okay, and any other indices you want, or you can do the raw data. So now go to your ArcGIS Pro. See if I can find it. Got too much stuff open. Okay, there's my ArcGIS Pro. I've saved it somewhere, not in my databases, in my folder somewhere. See if I can remember which is the one I did. I think I popped it into rasters, and it's one of them, the one I downloaded. Just going to drag this out a bit. It's that one. It'll ask you about pyramids and statistics. I've already put it on earlier. So you don't have to worry about that. Just go, okay. So you'll see there, you can't actually symbolize this. If I right click on it and I go symbology, you can do it by RGB. You can play around with the bands, even though you can stretch it. So there's 2 different ways you can do it. The first way you can do it is dead easy. You can just basically go into tools, go into the usual, what we've done half a dozen times, raster to, if I spell it right, to polygon. Raster to polygon, chuck your raster in as the input, do the field as the value, and just run the thing. And then it will export a polygon, which I'm not going to do this because I already have done it. So there is a polygon that I've exported, and you can see that this polygon, if I open here, it's got an attribute table, or it's got lots and lots and lots of different fields. And what you want to do is symbolize it by grid code. So you just do the normal thing is click on symbology, go down into one of the graduated colors. If it says this maximum sample size, click on this, go to sample size and add a couple of noughts. So there it's symbolized by Jenks. It looks a bit horrible, but what you can do is you can click on this, go show all, find a red to green. Oh, I don't know, you can just manually do it. You don't have to have that amount of things either. You can, oh, there's a red to green or red to blue, just save it manually. So anyway, it's like pretty horrible, but you can adjust these values. You can put some more classes. You could make, I don't know, chuck in 10 classes, and then you can just change also the upper and lower limits around in your symbology, where you could look at the histogram and you can play around with the histogram. Or you can do one of the other symbologies, manual interval, etc. So that's probably the easiest, and then you can create, and then you can just do it sort of, you play around, you know, until you actually get them. What you do with the symbology is, go back into symbology. You can actually change the upper and lower value so that it doesn't take up all the red, or you can just do it manually. So I might do it equal interval, defined interval, and then you can pop in a defined interval and you can change it accordingly to what you want your interval, or a manual interval. Just play around until it looks okay. So that's a manual interval, and there's too much red, so I actually want to make that slightly less, so I would make that a bit smaller. What if I put 20,000 there and pop in, I'll make that a bit higher, or you could put quantiles or something, whatever, doesn't matter. just so it looks similar, okay? And then what I could do is put 15,000, whatever. Anyway, so play around with it. Oops, doesn't like that, does it? Okay, that's sort of okay. It's horrible, but you can play around with it. I'm just going to remove that. But what you can also do is you can actually reclassify your raster. So now if you reclassify a raster, don't go into the raster tools because it's not there. I don't know why. So just type in reclassify. Click on reclassify. Your input raster is the one you've just downloaded. Your reclass field is value, and you can see nothing is showing there. There's two ways you can do there. You can do unique, which shows 6,000, a lot of things. But what you can do is just go into classify. And classify will come up with natural breaks, which is the default. Or you can change another, you can do that there. You can look at the histogram or how you want to do it. And you could add a couple more classes if you wanted to. I don't know, make it 10 and just go okay. And then what you do there is you run it. Also tick change missing values to no data because sometimes it freaks out if you don't do that. And it will add a reclassified raster to your thing, which looks almost identical to the and then what you can do is you can actually then look at that reclassified raster and you can go into its symbology. So I would right click on that. You can see it's now got an attribute table. And you can also right click and go onto symbology. And you can change the symbology however you like. And I would play around with that, so you may not want the upper value as 2 because there's too much of that. You could reverse it. You can change the colors, whatever. So that's how you would do it, and then you can have a beautiful attribute table. Play around with that, please, because it's horrible. You need to actually change the upper value of the red to make less red and more of that. Anyway, so that's how you do it. It's very easy. Play around with the reclassification. It creates a new layer. And just save your project.